petitioners in this matter also joining us on the show, and I do thank you all for your time. I do want to mention, for the benefit of our viewers and our panelists, that we have learned from EC already a response on the suggestion made by the Supreme Court earlier today. The EC is telling CNN News 18 that the P16 of SIR already has Aadhaar as optional. So I think that gives us an idea of their response on the suggestion made by the Supreme Court today. And the EPIC, which is the electronic voter ID card, is already printed on those forms. Now, it is likely, the EC has also said that those who are existing in the 2003 rolls, they just need to verify their forms with their EPIC cards, which are pre-enumerated, and they need to file it back. So it looks like that they're going to wait for the uploading of the SC order finally, but it looks like they've made up their mind that they know that these things are already part of the process. With that, let me go across to Congress spokesperson Mahima Singh joining us. Mahima Singh, are you satisfied with the proceedings of the court today?
Jai Hind. In fact, let me just say, Shivani, we have always been welcoming for the Supreme Court's decisions, whether it be the electoral bonds being declared unconstitutional, or whether it be today when the Supreme Court has reiterated the very question that the opposition has been raising about this very abrupt exercise. The Honorable Supreme Court, Shivani, has categorically said, and I'm stating, that this exercise, this revision just months before the elections, goes to the root of democracy and power to vote. It went on to say further that if you are to check citizenship under SIR of electoral rolls in Bihar, then you should have acted early. It is a bit late. Justice Dhulia had said this.
He had asked this,
now,
yes.
See, the Honorable Supreme Court is raising the same question. We have been saying that when this was done in 2003, it was done much ahead of time, and the very reason to do that was the computerization, and that is why it needed to be done so intensively. Now, this time it is just 3 months in advance, and the Supreme Court is, the Election Commission of India is time and again oscillating to and from its own stances. You know,
like?
One day it says we need to submit these documents, another day it will come out and make amends and say we need to...
No, the ECI has refuted that, ma'am. The ECI has refuted that. They have said the original SIR order is the original SIR order. There are no revisions in that. In fact, the Election Commission has called out, and I think they hinted at political parties for not create any confusion on ground.
It is only obvious, Shivani, who doesn't know today that the Election Commission of India is acting at the behest.
Now if you want to debate that, I can debate that.
Today. But you know, the voter in Bihar is not going to accept that, Shivani.
Accept what?
This is the state of Bihar. You don't provide jobs, it will do. You don't provide any other facilities, it will do. You try to snatch their vote right
absolutely,
to vote.
No voter should stand for it.
They will not accept it.
No, absolutely no voter should stand for it. But, you know, I was referring to a quote by Rabri Devi earlier at one of their RJD gatherings. It's also not fair for politicians with large sway to tell the voters that even if you have documents, don't show it to the ECI. This willful, non-cooperation that political parties are talking about, that's not fair either.
Shivani, in a democracy, non-cooperation is a very valid tool for...
it's illegal, what you're asking voters to do.
No, it is not. No, it is not. Let me just tell you what is
illegal.
You're
asking citizens to not follow the law of the land.
You guys debated electoral bonds in the same fashion. Then what happened? They were declared unconstitutional.
No, election bonds is a completely different issue, ma'am. Completely different issue.
Your channels, each of you...
If you're talking about the Supreme Court judgment in election bonds issue, ma'am, then also with all humility, the opposition should also regard the fact that as far as you calling out the Election Commission's exercise as arbitrary, unconstitutional, the Supreme Court did not buy that. Did not buy that. The Supreme Court categorically said that they cannot come in the way of a constitutional body conducting an exercise. What you're quoting are back and forth statements being made by judges and lawyers in the order. There is absolutely no question on this Election Commission's right and powers to hold this exercise. Ma'am, let's at least agree on this because this is absolutely irrefutable.
No, Shivani, the Supreme Court has categorically said that this goes to the root of democracy.
They were defining the petitions before them.
What else do you want?
They have also categorically said, as part of the back and forth during the hearing, that this is part of the constitutional powers that the EC has. They have even asked for why did you need to do this? The EC has responded this. Okay, let me open this up. Mahima ji, let me open this up.
No, hold it is very frivolous that the ECI is represented by the BJP and the BJP is represented by news anchors. That's
What?
very unfortunate.
I'm quoting the Supreme Court. Where did the BJP come in this?
You are not ready to listen. My quote.
I
of the
heard
Supreme
you.
Court
How
is
can you say I'm not
telling
ready
me
to
it's
listen?
a-
But I
it's a-
can't have you
it's a
misquote the
phrase-
Supreme Court
it's a
here, ma'am.
phrase of 10
I am
words.
quoting
You're
what
not
the
ready to
court
admit
said
it.
during the arguments today. Please, arguments, observations, and
Supreme Court
orders are
question,
three completely
whether-
different things.
You tell your viewers whether the Supreme Court questioned the timing or not.
You
Please tell
exactly.
the viewers.
Now you use the right words. It questioned the timing
it said it
to
goes
the
to the
lawyer
rules of
of the
democracy and
EC.
the power to
That
vote.
does not mean that it opined and
And the
gave an
Supreme
order
Court said
on the
it goes to
questioning
the
of the
rules of
timing.
democracy and
Ma'am,
the
I
power
think
to
I've
vote.
made my point very clear. Let's not waste time here. Rohan
And
Gupta.
so have I.
Rohan Gupta.
So have
The
I.
point is the opposition was saying that this exercise could marginalize certain people, especially in a state like Bihar, which has very low penetration of certain certificates, including the 11 documents that the EC has asked for. So what's the harm in asking or taking on note Aadhaar, ration card, Epic cards as well? I've told you what the EC sources are suggesting, but this is all that the opposition was asking for. In a way, this is a win for them.
Shivani, I think opposition is preparing themselves for post-defeat situation. They know what is going to happen in Bihar. So obviously, after the defeat, they have to go into debates and they have to represent in the press conference. This is what we have been saying for last 4 months. See, this is the two sides. This is the hypocrisy of opposition. When their leader of opposition is questioning election commissioner in Maharashtra on various issues, with election commission clearly came out with the answers. After that, if election commission is doing certain process to ensure that there is nothing wrong in electoral, they all issue it there also. Then how can you stop? Is this the democracy? How can you come under the purview of election commission? The same exercise was done in 2003 with only 3 documents. And after so many years, if election commission is saying that there are 11 documents and you just have to revalidate your membership, what is wrong in that?
No, but
Is
the
this
question,
election
Rohan
code?
Gupta, as a member of the
Yeah.
ruling party at the center also, can I please ask you, if Aadhaar today doesn't really verify your, your status as a citizen, then why are we going so gung-ho on Aadhaar? This is the central question people are asking. If ECI will not accept Aadhaar, then why do people have Aadhaar?
I think, Shivani, in your opening remark only, you have read the reply of Election Commission on the Aadhaar that yes, it is there in certain clause as an optional document. So I think all these things will come. Let the Supreme Court order come. Election Commission also understand, yes, this is the process and anything which is recommended or suggested by Supreme Court, obviously, we are all here to listen to that. But that doesn't mean that you question the basic policy, the basic decision. You are questioning the institutional body of India. Because you are feared that if this exercise is done properly, certain
Why
illegal
should we not?
voters, like what happened in Delhi, the illegal voters, they were completely removed from the election commission, this role, and we have seen the results. So I think they are more bothered about that electoral roll situation in Bihar, and that's why they are opposing. Otherwise, you tell me,
Why
Shivani,
should we
one
not
reason
question
where
Election
election
Commission of
commission,
India?
I never spoke in between. Please don't speak in between. Please, let me complete. Shivani,
Allow
the
me a
basic
response.
issue here
I'll
is
allow you.
why
Mahima ji, I'll allow you. I'll
opposition-
come back to you.
Please. The basic reason why opposition parties are opposing this is because they know for sure if the reality comes on ground, if the fake voters are removed after this process, whatever bachi-kuchi seats they are going to lose.
You're
that.
making a very
Otherwise,
big
in
charge.
democracy,
You're
there
making
is
a very
no
big
party
charge
who can
that these
question the basic
illegal voters,
process
you're
of Election
basically
Commission.
suggesting that these illegal immigrants, which I don't think any political party can deny that there is a problem in some of these states, that these illegal migrants particularly vote for opposition parties. Is that what you're saying, Rahul Gupta?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying they are scared that if these illegal voters or so-called people who are their vote bank, because appeasement is the main politics of opposition
You're saying the same
parties.
thing as I
Otherwise,
said.
you
You're
tell
just
me,
using different words.
Shivani, you tell me one reason why opposition parties should oppose certain process which is as per constitution. If tomorrow, after the process, if they find a single example where something wrong is done to any legitimate voter, they have a right to go and challenge the decision.
Can I take that to the
There is
other
no
members
reason.
of our
They have to
panelists?
play the politics.
No, allow
It
me
is
a
their
response,
compulsory.
Mahima ji, I'll come back. 3 of our guests haven't
No,
spoken.
please allow
Rahul
me a
Verma,
response.
senior fellow of the CPR,
No,
is
you are
also
saying
with us.
he's raising
Ma'am, I'll
serious
come back to you.
charges
I'll come
and
back to
you're
you.
not allowing
I'll come
me
back to
to
you. We
speak.
have time, but 3 of our guests haven't spoken. Rahul Verma, the basic premise seems to be that Bihar is so poor and backward with such little penetration of official documents that if you try to do this exercise, then even with 11 documents, they will not be able to present this. The natural question that follows is, then what happened in 2003? Bihar was definitely poorer and more backward in 2003. We didn't even have the technological help that we have today. We didn't have the penetration of documents that we have today. But it seems like it's a problem in Bihar only now. There was no problem in 2003. If this exercise has to be conducted every 2 decades, then it has to be conducted.
Thank you, Shivani. So, one, I'm not aware of what kind of questions were raised in 2003. Were there similar sort of like petitions filed or not? So, let's not go in history. I think, see, the first point is that Election Commission, like their goal or the motive which they have stated that no eligible voters should be left out and no ineligible voters should be in the list. I think no one is doubting or contesting that goal. I think this is not just a legal matter as of now, it's also a political matter, right?
Yes.
And that's where you are basically seeing the two sides contesting on this question. The Supreme Court, in its observation today, basically said there are three questions to consider.
Yes.
One, whether EC has the power to do this exercise. They said, yes, you can go ahead. Second question was basically on the procedure and fairness
the way it was
of
being carried
this,
out, yes.
which is what I think petitioners are questioning. And the third one is regarding the timing, that Bihar is such a large state and elections are around the corner. Would you be able to do this exercise in given time? And that's why EC in its final remark also said that the roll has to be published, the draft roll would be published on August 1st. Let's meet again on July 28th. So in that sense, while in some ways the Supreme Court has said Election Commission to go ahead with its with its process, it has also said that we would like to see in 2 weeks' time how much you have made progress. Because one of the grounds on which Election Commission defended its exercise, they said that within 15 days, we have already completed 58% of the exercise.
Yes.
And hopefully we would be. So their claim is that even in 2003, while the process was started 2 years before, the entire matter got done in 31 days.
Yes.
That's their claim. Now, at this moment of time, see, opposition parties and those who have petitioned have every right to question these things. Right? Let's not basically brush it under the carpet.
But on what ground? You're saying they had the right to question this on the ground of the timing?
So I think that's what their sort of like petition says, that they are worried that in a short span of time, if this process is not followed on the ground properly, a large number of voters who are from marginalized communities might get excluded.
No, but this is exactly what I was asking, Rahul. No, if to raise that suspicion, it has to be based in some ground reality. If this process could be completed in 31 days in Bihar in 2003, when they had less people on ground, less technology, then what is the basis of this? And frankly, if you listen to the political statements being made on this is not so much about timing alone. This is about the fact that they're linking it to Maharashtra and saying, oh, some gadbad is going on.
No, but see, that's why I said it's political, right? Think of, like, if this special intensive revision has to happen, why was it not announced in January of 2025? Why was it not announced in May of 2025? See, I'm not...
I'll tell you why. Since you asked this question, EC has been asked this question. They've said that because you raised a hue and cry about Maharashtra electoral rolls now, that is why we are duty bound to do it. Now, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't raise a hue and cry on Maharashtra electoral rolls and then raise an objection that no, you can't touch Bihar 3 months before elections. Yes, Mahima ji wants to come in.
Why are you stepping into the shoes of the ECS person? Either have them on the show.
Ma'am, I am making the arguments that seem logical to me, and I am telling the viewers what the EC has said. I don't have an EC representative. I have not talked about the BJP. Your problems with what I'm saying, I'm sorry, you are not in a position to tell me how I will anchor my show. I have quoted what the EC has said. I have not quoted what the BJP has said. I'm sorry. In fact, I am quoting what the opposition parties are saying and what the EC is saying. I have not brought in the BJP at all. I'm sorry. You cannot keep raising this accusation against me just because you are not winning an argument. Please stick to the argument. Please stick to the argument. Don't come to the anchor alone.
Why should you step into the shoes of
I am not stepping into the shoes of the BJP. I haven't quoted them. I am quoting what the EC has said. What is your problem?
Worse. Shivani, worse, you are stepping into the shoes of the EC election.
I am quoting what the EC is saying. That's not called stepping into the shoes of the EC. I'm sorry. It's my job as an anchor. I'm having an argument with Rahul Verma. He doesn't have a problem. I don't know why you have a problem with what the EC is saying.
The learned gentleman on the panel said, why did the ECI do so? You said, I'll tell you why. Why step into the ECI shoes?
Because ECI is not here. He is asking a question. I am telling them what the ECI has said. You can't have a problem with that. I'm sorry. You can't have a problem with this.
I can.
No, you can't.
Do very much.
It is my job to quote what the EC is saying. EC is at the heart of this controversy. I'm sorry. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that I can't quote the EC. Absolutely not
Your
done.
viewers also would not like it, Shivani.
No, please don't speak on behalf of the viewers. I'm sorry, Mahima Singh, this is absolutely out of line from you. I am quoting what the EC has said in response to the questions raised by the opposition parties. That's all.
No, Shivani, all right. I mean...
Jagdeep Chokar, one second. Ma'am, please, there are other panelists who need time. I'll come back to you. On your points as the Congress member, I'll come back to you, please. But don't raise objections on how I'm conducting my debate.
I will.
Jagdeep Chokar is co-founder of the ADR, who is one of the petitioners. Are you satisfied with what the court has suggested to the EC today, sir?
Well, what the court has suggested to the EC is perfectly all right, but I am not fully satisfied. I am only partially satisfied.
Okay.
I would have been fully satisfied if the court had stayed the entire process till it was finally and fully heard.
But the court didn't do so.
The court didn't, so therefore I am only partially satisfied.
Yes. No, the court said that they cannot be seen as interfering in the actions of a constitutional body. How do you look at what the court said today?
I understand what the court said. I watched the whole hearing. It is very decent and gentlemanly of the court to say they do not want to be seen to be interfering in another constitutional body. But the court very often also gives directions to the Union of India, which is also a very super constitutional body. So the court was being very polite and very discreet. And when the ECI council said, please say that we would have discretion to decide on these three documents, the court repeatedly said we will not say that. They said we would not like to order another constitutional institution,
yes,
but we would only make a suggestion.
Yes.
So the court has made its mind very clear. The court during the proceedings also said more than once that the EC does not have the power and it has no business to checking the citizenship of
a citizen, yes,
voters. It can only check their eligibility to be registered as voters. So
yes,
the whole exercise in the court was more comprehensive than the final order which came out or which will come out. So we will see.
But can I take your response on what the EC sources are suggesting? They're saying that P16 of the SIR already has Aadhaar as optional, while Epic card is already pre-printed. This is because they're using 2003 as the as the existing role. Those who are there in the 2003 role. What do you make of this that we're learning from the EC, that these two are already as such part of the process?
I do not take cognizance of what the sources in the EC say. I will accept when the EC finally issues an official document saying what they propose to do, how do they propose to deal with the Supreme Court's order.
Okay.
And if what the sources are saying was true, then they should have said it in the court.
I think what we're learning is that they're going to wait, as you said, the final order, the written order of the Supreme Court, and then they're going to make, I think, a public response to what the court has suggested.
Therefore, I will give my response to when the Election Commission says something officially.
Fair enough.
I will not respond to sources.
You can certainly respond to the issue of Epic cards being pre-printed. That is correct, of course, because they are going by the rules of the last.
The question is, no, it is pre-printed, but whether a Epic card will be acceptable for registering those voters whose names have been effectively removed from the electoral rolls, who got themselves registered from 2nd of January 2003 to 23rd of June 2025. That is the legal issue that we went to court on.
Okay.
And the Epic being pre-printed does not imply in any way, shape or form that that is acceptable and no other documents are required.
Yes.
When the chief electoral officer of Bihar gave a full page ad in newspapers in Bihar 4 or 5 days ago, on the very next day, the ECI issued a press note in which it said the documents may not be given along with the form right now.
It can be done at
but
the later
they will
stage.
certainly
Yes.
have to be given later.
Yes. In fact, the EC has
So-
also said.
No, just a minute. Therefore, the EPIC being pre-printed is not of any consequence. The other documents are required by the EC.
Yes. No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying because Epic card and Ration and Aadhaar card were mentioned in court today as documents that should be accepted additionally, this is what we are learning of the issue on Aadhaar and Epic alone. I'm not suggesting that, this is going to have the final ratification. But can I just also mention that the EC had also said that about more than half of the population already has their name in the roll. All they have to do is verify these enumeration forms that come to them and file them back. They don't really need to require to give any documents. Those who are not there in the rolls will have to supply additional documents, and it can go till their parents' generation as well. Can I go across to Satya Mule as well? Satya Mule is lawyer joining us. Satya Mule, this whole issue of the jurisdiction, can the EC, even though it needs to verify citizenship of a citizen, can the EC become the arbitrator of whether you are a citizen or not? I think that is also at the heart of this debate.
Well, it revolves around Article 326. 326 does talk about citizenship and only the citizens being allowed to vote or exercise the franchise of voting in this particular country. From there, the Election Commission does draw the power. If they wish, they can determine the issue of citizenship. Yes or no, this particular question has not been adjudicated by the Supreme Court today. This particular question was not a part of a question of any petition today. However, this question came up during the hearing and it was answered that yes, we do have the power. And in counter to that, Justice Dhulia mentioned that if you say so that you have the power, then why didn't you start this particular exercise well in time? Now, having said this, I will take this subject further ahead, if you permit me. At the cost of repetition, yes, we need better opposition, not somebody who is howling at media or somebody who is criticizing the Maharashtra elections about certain number of voters being increased. We have to take note that one particular petitioner in all this bunch of petitioner is a member of parliament from Maharashtra, and after the Maharashtra election came on record and has said that Election Commission has done a wonderful job. Now, there were allegations from the Congress party. I'm not belonging to any party. There were allegations from the Congress party that there was sudden increase in number of voters in Maharashtra. However,
yes.
this Supriya Sule came on record and said that Election Commission has done wonderful job.
But that doesn't mean she cannot oppose this exercise in Bihar. I'm just
doesn't
saying,
mean,
for an argument's sake.
but one cannot blow hot and cold at one's own convenience at any given point of time.
Okay, let me take that to Mahima Singh.
No, I'm just one important point.
Sure.
These particular batch of petitions are half-cooked petitions. They have been filed during the partial working days. They have been moved urgently in front of the vacation bench solely for the purpose of seeking a stay, which they have not achieved today. And their all contentions have been refuted. All the contentions have been refuted. If the Election Commission can demonstrate that the timing is right in the context that if appropriate time is going to be allowed for appeals to be entertained, if somebody's name is discarded, if that particular person can go into appeal, those appeal getting heard, an entire process concludes before the election happens, then the subject of timing gets answered.
Okay, subject of timing gets answered, but Mr. Mule, the other issue is of the relevance of Aadhaar. I don't think that answer is getting answered. Now, if Aadhaar has become a corrupted role, then we need other resolutions for that.
Once again, all this same bunch of people, same petitioners were opposing Aadhaar when Aadhaar was being brought forward in this particular country. Now they want Aadhaar. Yes, why not Aadhaar? Yes, I am in support of Aadhaar. Aadhaar should be there. But at the end of the day, Supreme Court has held in Puttaswamy versus Union of India that Aadhaar cannot be a document proving citizenship. And that stands as the way it is today. even for that matter, Aadhaar will be accepted today by Election Commission of India along with some other identity proof, not as a sole identity proof.
Okay. Mahima Singh, yes, go ahead.
It's quite interesting, Shivani. I was listening, and I happen to be an advocate practicing at the Supreme Court myself as well. So, with due respect to my fellow colleague on your panel, I would emphasize that he would have watched the proceedings closely. And you know, the advocates for the petitioners have submitted that we are not pressing for an interim relief at this point in time. Number one. Number two, he's saying these were the same petitioners opposing the Aadhaar. Again, it's a very faulty situation because no, these were not the same petitioners opposing. And in fact, it was the UPA government that brought about Aadhaar. It was the BJP that was initially opposing Aadhaar.
No, fair enough. That's not an argument here. Yes.
Congress. Shivani, you will have to allow me to complete.
Yes,
you
go
know,
ahead.
today on your show, as much as I regard your resource, I have to say that you have more than covered up for the ECI and resonated with the BJP rather than do your job of critiquing. Which
It is my job to mention what the EC is
So
saying.
now I want to ask a question. Please allow me to submit my
Okay,
thoughts.
fair enough. Go ahead. You want to bash me, please go ahead.
Forward. I have a very critical question to ask of you, of the panelists, and of this country, of the citizens, which the citizens are asking, and I am resonating them. Is the Election Commission of India sacrosanct, Shivani? Is the Election Commission of India above the democracy, above the citizenry? Why should the citizens not question? Why should the opposition not question the Election of Commission of India?
Nobody
Why
asked
should
any.
the
No, nobody
spokesperson,
opposed to that.
While reiterating the BJP's fears, why is the BJP spokesperson actually saying that? Why is the opposition questioning? We shall question and we shall continue to question.
Can I just say, okay, ma'am, if you allow me to move on now, can I just say, since you brought this up, actually one of the advocates for the EC said, if you look at these petitioners, none of them are voters. These are, people from civil society who have come up. That wasn't taken very kindly by the court. Ma'am, I'm only mentioning, this is not on you. I'm only mentioning this as an aside, as far as what happened.
Your label may be that of an anchor, but you are...
Ma'am, I don't understand why you are taking offense on this. This is not against you.
And I am saying this with full responsibility. You are
No, I think you are just taking everything as a personal offense when it's not meant for the Congress party. I'm only telling you that actually this happened in court today. I'm discussing the hearing today. I don't know what you're taking objection to. Yes, I have to give 30 seconds to Rohan Gupta as well. Rohan Gupta.
This is the hypocrisy of opposition. They just want to oppose Election Commission to ensure that in minds of people after defeat, what they will revert. In Maharashtra, they were questioning the same Election Commission that you have not followed the process properly. In Bihar, they are questioning the same Election Commission why you are following the process. So where is the objectivity? Definitely as an opposition, you have right to ask questions to anybody, any electoral body, any authority. But
even Supreme Court for that matter, since Mahima Singh brought up that issue.
There is no objectivity here. They are just questioning the process. You can definitely fault find there are lacunas in the process or maybe suggestions, but you cannot question the basic process.
Okay.
This is the power of EC and that is what you are doing.
I've run out of time. I do thank all of our guests for joining us, and we'll look forward to maybe more of such debates as the next hearing comes up at the end of the month as well. Some breaking updates that are coming in. A 25-year-old state-level tennis player, Radhika Yadav, has allegedly been shot dead by her own father in Gurugram this afternoon. The incident has occurred around 12 noon inside their family residence in Sector 57, where Radhika was living with her family. According to preliminary investigation, the accused father fired 3 bullets consecutively at his daughter, and it is suspected to be a case of honor killing. My colleague Anshul Singh is joining us with more details. Anshul.
So yes, another very shocking case has come to light, this time from Gurugram. Prima facie at this point in time, it seems like that this could be